During World War II, a couple of Jewish partisans got in hold of some dynamite, and they were going to blow up the bridge that Hitler crossed every day punctually at 11:15 in the morning. They set the explosives, they hid in the bushes, and it was 11 o'clock, then 11:05, 11:10, 11:15, and no Hitler. 11:20, 11:25. Finally, one turned to the other and said, "Hope he's all right." A man died and went to the afterworld. The gatekeeper said, "You've been a very pious, righteous man. We allow you to have reunions with people that you've missed, and whom would you like to see first?" He said, "Oh, there's no question, my Reby. He was such a wonderful man, such a positive influence." Of course, they gave him the name, they gave him directions, he walked down some corridors, and then when he got to the room, the door was open, he looked in, and there was his Reby, just as he remembered him, with his long beard and payas, sitting over a page of Talmud, studying away. And behind him stood this beautiful, scantily clad woman who was moaning, rubbing her hands through his hair, rubbing his shoulders, whispering in his ear. And the Rebbe was reading, and they looked, "Ah, my son, come in, have a seat." They had a long conversation, and the woman didn't stop. Finally he said, "Rebbe, I have to ask you, this gorgeous woman, scantily clad woman who's moaning and rubbing her hands through your hair and rubbing your shoulders and whispering in your ear, tell me, Rebbe, is she your reward?" He said, "No, I'm her punishment." Man contacted his local shadchan, his matchmaker, and he said, "I need to find a wife for my son, but it's going to be the most difficult job you've ever had. My son is a wonderful man. He's handsome, he's athletic, he's a religious man, he has a great career going for him, he's warm, he's sensitive, he wants family." And the shadchan said, "It's going to be difficult, but I'll do my very best." A few weeks later he calls, "I think I might have found the woman for him. She's a beautiful woman, warm, sensitive, a religious woman, generous, wants a family, has a great career going." And the father says, "She sounds like exactly what we're looking for. But let me ask you a question. This is the 21st century. We're modern people. Is she a good lover?" And the shadchan replies, "Some say yes, some say no." The guy's talking to his friend. He said, "I had one of the most exciting nights of my life last night. I went out on the town with my girlfriend and her twin." The guy says, "Boy, that sounds terrific, but how could you tell them apart?" He said, "Well, her brother has a mustache." A couple was having trouble in their marriage. They went to a therapist and things were not going well during the session. The husband was sitting there with his arms folded, glowering, passive-aggressively. The wife was screaming and yelling. Finally, the therapist said, "I have to do a creative intervention here." He reached down, picked up the wife, and gave her a 45-second kiss on the lips like she'd never had in her life. Put her back in her chair. She was bleary-eyed and speechless. Turned to the husband. He said, "Now that's what she needs. And she needs it twice a week." The husband says, "I could have her here on Mondays and Thursdays." Years ago, when the troubles were still pretty intense in Northern Ireland, a guy had to run an errand late at night. Knew it was dangerous, but he had no choice. It was an emergency. What he was afraid of happened. As he walked through a dark alley, he felt a gun in his ribs, and a voice behind him said, "What are you, Protestant or Catholic?" Thought for me, he said, "My God, if I say I'm Protestant, the IRA, I've had it. But I say I'm Catholic, it's ultimate defense, I'm dead." So he thought for another minute and finally said, "I'm Jewish." And from behind her he heard a voice say, "Well, faith and begorra, if I'm not the luckiest Arab in all Northern Ireland." A rabbi, a cantor, and a synagogue president were all on vacation in Borneo. And they were captured by headhunters. The leader of the group said, "We're going to kill you. That's how we make our living in these parts. But we're not uncivilized as you might think. We'll give each of you one last wish." The rabbi, perspiring and trembling, said, "I guess what I would like to do is deliver my Yom Kippur sermon one last time." And the cantor, also perspiring and trembling, said, "As for me, I'd like to chant the Kol Nidre one last time." And the synagogue president said, "Kill me first." Thank you very much.